Greetings, ladies and managers, and welcome to this latest edition of Read TFOS, where I take old stories I've narrated and update them to modern audio standards. This particular story is called A Villain, a Thief, written by Q00U. You are a villain, a thief. You'll find that I'm quite devoted to the law and order, actually, said the human on the monitor, looking hurt. The invasion was not going as planned. Earlier, the invasion-class battleship Zaya's World Eater was hot-warped to an unexplored arm of the galaxy. Hot warping was expensive, and when it came to ships the size of Zaya's, the resource costs grew truly absurd. But spies among the fleeing Pret reported back that the Pret had made contact with the planet of Sophons in this region, a treasure ready to be picked up. Unlike the Pret, these new people lacked faster-than-light travel, and so could not flee the expanding empire. Whichever faction staked claim on the planet first would tremendously benefit, so the Bicon Collective was sparing no expense. The cost of a hot warp would be regained 100-fold by the cultural resources of Earth. Preparing to exit hot warp, the technical officer Quill informed the Admiral. A slight shudder ran through the ship a moment later. Hot warp successful, we've reached the heliosphere. 14 hours to target from this location. Good. Once the rest of the fleet materializes, sync controls to our systems and prepare to head in. Admiral Akawa was pleased. Scan for competitors and Pret remnants. Sir, objected Ut, the protocol officer. Chasing the Pret is not our assigned task. None of either, the military officer, Bitix reported. It appears that the Pret fleet warped out as soon as they recharged. Shame, Akawa said with a wry smile. Cold warps take a long time. If the warp remnants were still in the system, the Bicon Collective could hot warp a fleet to wait for the Pret at their destination. I suppose we shouldn't be too greedy. A single planet and its billions of fresh citizens will have to satisfy us this time. Analyzing broadcasts from the target, said Quillen. Translation services will be up by the time we arrived. Scanning target with long-range sensors. A minimally damaged invasion plan will be ready at that time, said Bedex in a routine tone. This was not their first invasion. According to the intel, the Earth has nothing that can damage the Zerurias. Excellent, Akawa was even more pleased. His crew was performing like a well-trained squad, as expected. This invasion would go off without a hitch. Almost 14 hours later, a hitch appeared. Interesting, said Quillen. There's an Ansonet node nearby. The Ansonet was not controlled by any single empire, but its convenience meant that almost every spacefaring society used it. Left behind by the Pret, speculated Ut. Convenient for us. If it's in the hands of this world's leader, perhaps we can negotiate their complete surrender without damaging their infrastructure. Translation services? Online, 98% complete. The Earth language is surprisingly partitioned, such that... Invasion plan, Akawa interrupted. Ready, 5 to 10% estimate destruction of target, although it's always better if nobody has to fire a shot. Make contact, ordered Akawa. 10% destruction averted is 10% more profit to Bicon Collective. Moments later, an Earthling appeared on the ship's node monitor. Howdy, more visitors to Earth. Must be my lucky day. Yes, surrender, obviously. Akawa cut to the chase. Pardon? The Earthling scratched the fur on his head. Ut stepped in for a moment. Are you qualified to speak for your planet? The Earthling laughed. I reckon I'm qualified to speak for my planet, yeah. Ut gave an all-good signal to Akawa and stepped away. Akawa continued. Then, as the Earth representative, call me Tom. The Earthling's designation was irrelevant to Akawa, so he ignored it. This is an invasion. You have no chance against us. Complete surrender minimizes your suffering. Your people and resources will be allocated to roles we decide. You have no say in this, but you will not be killed. It is your best choice. You have 82 minutes to decide. Oh, sorry, I can't decide right now. No. Thank you for asking, though. Akawa paused. There was a chance that the translation was not getting through correctly. I'm not sure you understand the situation. We are currently approaching your planet. Oh, yes, I can see that. A terribly handy device, this node thingy. Part space phone, part Encyclopedia Galactica. And it can show me anything any other node can see. In real time. It'll let me know that you were coming at the moment you left Zerg. That's your home planet, right, Zerg? Terribly handy device. Yes. And as you can see, we will arrive at our destination shortly. And if you look closely, you'll notice that our fleet is made up of very many, very heavily armed ships. When we arrive, if you have not surrendered by choice, we will force your surrender. With overwhelming force. Due to the numerous heavily armed ships, is this translation reaching you successfully? The Earthling scratched its head again and exposed its teeth in a way that Translator Computer described as a bashful smile. Sorry, the fault is mine. I'm not explaining myself properly. You can't invade Earth. Is that more clear? Another pause. We have many, many ships, and they have great big guns. Objectively, we can invade Earth, and we are right now. That is what is currently happening. Are you sure you're understanding our translation? Agro was beginning to feel frustrated. It was a rare sensation for him. My fault again. Bashful smile. Invading Earth is illegal. Does that help? Understanding dawned on Agro. No, your Earth laws are irrelevant. The invaders set the rules, see? Laws only work when they're backed by force, and we, the invaders, have the overwhelming force. Understand? We're here representing the Bicam Collective, one of the largest factions in the Redlonian Empire. Surely your Pret friends mentioned us. Why would we be constrained by Earth legalities? That does not make sense. We have great big guns. Your guns are not as big. I don't think I can make it any simpler than that. A frown appeared on the Earthling's face. Again, I have failed. Invading Earth is illegal according to the Redlonian Empire's rules. You said that you're part of the Empire, right? My understanding is that you guys love to follow the rules. Hikawa glanced at Ut and then back at the node screen. I believe you're mistaken. Invading unincorporated systems is not against any of our rules. Oh, well, there you go. That's your misunderstanding. This system is already part of the Redlonian Empire. The smile returned to its face. That, Agro was growing more frustrated. Was this Earthling being intentionally foolish? That does not seem possible. We are the first ships from the Empire to reach the system. Therefore, you are not part of the Empire yet, but you will be soon. The Earthling looked at the node controls in front of it, concentration on its face. Here, this might help. Sorry again. This system is still new to me. Don't worry, though. I'm a fast learner. Sir, Quillam exclaimed. The planet on the ship's internal display suddenly gained the Redlonian Empire Jipperif collective tag. The battle computers have halted, Batux announced. It wasn't possible to target friendly systems for invasion. Agro looked at Ut meaningfully, while Ut furiously manipulated his station's controls. How could this be happening? Returning to the node screen, Agro said, You are not part of the Empire. You hacked the node. This will only delay the inevitable. You will surrender, or you will be subjugated. There is no other outcome possible. Oh, no hack necessary. This system, this planet, and even me, myself, all part of the Jiriferif Collective, and therefore part of the Empire. Sorry you came all this way for nothing. That was probably expensive. Smug. The distraught Ut turned to the Admiral. True, he signaled. The expenditure just for the hot warp would set the Bicam Collective back a bit. Competition between collectives was fierce, and a setback like this might trigger one of the rivals to attack, weakening them further. Collectives had fallen for less in the past. Agro's eyes flicked to Quillan. If they could override the friendly fire lockout and take this planet anyway. I hope you're not thinking of invading a friendly planet, the Earthling said. The Empire's military frowns on that sort of thing, you know. The Redlonian Empire's planet-conquering military tend to discourage fighting between Empire via overwhelming force. They have great big guns. Your guns are not as big. I don't think I can make it any simpler than that. A long pause. How? I was really hoping you would ask, Smug. Do you know rock, paper, scissors? Ut piped up. An Earth game played by arranging the appendages in specific configurations. The winner seems to be decided by random chance. There you go, satisfaction. A longer pause. but the Earthling remained silent. I require further explanation. Akawa's frustration had reached an unprecedented level. Oh, sure. You're right that my friends, the Pret, did in fact mention you. The Red Lonian Empire, the various factions. It was very interesting. Gave us an Ansonet node and instructed us on how to use it. They were very sorry, you see, to discover intelligent life in a system that they were passing through. Inevitably, the Empire would follow and Earth would be lost. Sad, but inevitable. So far, this tracked with Akawa's understanding of the situation. This was not the first time something like this had happened in the Empire's long history. Inevitable, he continued, but unacceptable. But what could we do? We had a space phone and an encyclopedia of galactic knowledge. But what we didn't have was time. No time to research technology. No time to prepare the military. No time for any real preventative measures. Not nearly enough. Pretty soon, one of the factions would get wind of our existence and head our way, and our time would be up. What we did then would be determined by who exactly was coming, which turned out to be you. Ships coming from Zerg, a whole fleet with lots of guns. Zerg is a planet in the Bicom Collective. So we contacted your friendly rivals, the Jaifarif, in return for pointlessly wasting your resources and weakening the Bicom Collective. They're granting us essentially autonomy while being in-name part of their collective. No, Akawa objected. No collective would bargain with an outsider system, especially in return for nothing. The cost to Bicom is a fraction of your system's worth. Oh, we were already part of the Empire. They couldn't stake their claim on us anyway. Since fighting is not allowed between Empire systems, putting us in name only dissuades you from invading and allows them a legal claim for reparations from Bicom if you decide to invade us anyway. It costs them nothing and might pay off big if you're stupid. I went over the agreement very carefully. I'm a lawyer after. You were already part of the Empire. How? Kawa's record-breaking frustration level was again surpassed. Did I not mention, it tilted its head, technically, I suppose, we're a drop colony. The drop. This made even less sense. Xenophobes. Even if you attempted to contact them through Asenet, you would fail. Yes, the Earthling nodded. That's why they have vassal races to deal with outsiders. One of those vassals happens to be the Sistolians. Proud. Another pause. Were Earthlings telepathic? This Tom appeared to think it was sending more information than was being received. What was the significance of the warrior race Sistolians? Eventually, Akawa had no choice but to prod. And... Oh, I'm Sistolian. Confused. Did I forget to mention that too? Akawa stared at the monitor. You are not Sistolian. You're clearly Earthling. Human, said the Earthling. Yes, I was born a human, but I am now Sistolian for legal purposes. If it were possible to burst from frustration, the Zephaz's bridge would be covered in gore. How? Akawa raged. Adoption. Do you know how Sistolians capture defeated enemies and raise them as their own? I contacted a Sistolian family through the Ansonet and challenged them to rock, paper, scissors. It took a few matches, but I eventually lost. My poor foster father, he was so confused as to why I insisted he adopt me over a simple game. Although I guess it might have helped that I own a planet. Having a son with his own planet will certainly make things easier when the family comes to visit. Of course you own the planet. Akawa had passed beyond frustration and was entering mania. Why wouldn't you? The whole planet. It makes just as much sense. The human laughed. Yeah, you think negotiating my way through the Red Lonian Empire was tough. Trying to get all this world's leaders to agree on pizza toppings was harder. Having an invasion fleet on the way sure helped things along, though. So thank you. Since Earth surrendered to me, and I'm Sistolian, and Sistolians are vassals of the Drop, and the Drop are part of the Empire, a second human appeared next to him. Mr. Sawyer, we're ready. Excellent. I guess I'm done delaying you guys. A panicked Quillen suddenly exclaimed, Admiral, the ship's systems have gone into remote mode. I'm knocked out. Same here, confirmed Batex. Ut said nothing, but made worried grunts while trying his own console, to no effect. Relax, fellas, the human said. You're in no danger. Negotiations have concluded successfully. Akawa had gone cross-eyed. Ut demanded, what negotiations? Oh, negotiations between the Juffarif and the Bicom. For, I guess, possession of your fleet. See, because this is a private star system that you are currently trespassing upon, we have parking fees for being within the heliosphere. Parking fees? Ut was incensed. Never heard of such a thing. The human waggled a finger. Ignorance of the law is no excuse. You should have looked up the rules before your visit. What are these fees? Ut demanded. Exorbitant, the human said, as if that explained anything. It's per ship, too, and you brought very many. So many that I'm not sure even the Bicon Collective could bear the cost. They're the ones truly responsible for paying, right? Didn't you say we're here representing the Bicon Collective, one of the largest factions in the Redlonian Empire? Nobody on board the Zephyrs could speak. Well, we gave the Bicon a choice. Pay the fees they were legally required to pay, or surrender the fleet and the crews, which they did. Bitux closed his eyes. It was a complete defeat, and nobody had fired a shot. But like I said, continued the human, don't worry. Your people and resources will be allocated to roles we decide. You have no say in this, but you will not be killed. As the fleet autopiloted to the planet, Akawa started laughing and never stopped. End of story. I'd quickly like to thank our T5 Patreon and channel members, Casper Arnholtz, John Creighton, 050, Dragzoon WRE, and Elijah Silvercross. Thank you very much.